Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. Well, today I want to talk about probably the most common question I get, and it's posed in a couple of different ways. People will often ask, do you wish you would have left when your children were young? Do you wish you would have left sooner? The other side of that, the other way it's posed to me is, should I leave now or should I wait? I don't know what to do. Obviously, that is not for me to decide. That is definitely not for me to answer. Everyone's situation is very different. All of our situations vary depending on a lot of things. There's no easy answer to that. The way I see it is, had I left when my children were young, maybe they wouldn't have seen their father for who he really is. I understand and hear from many people on just about a daily basis about how difficult it is to co-parent with a narcissist. So you're leaving it, but you're not. And then what happens is your kids are just pawns. Your kids become pawns. They're just something for the narcissist to use. Yeah, you're away from it. They're not seeing that daily negative interaction between you and that person. They will more than likely still be seeing that narcissistic parent. On the other hand, I stayed until my children were no longer minors. And I wasn't waiting for that point. As many of you know, there were a lot of events that led up to that last straw, namely me losing my father that year and everything just falling apart. My ex did a tremendous amount of mental and emotional damage to all of us, our entire family. So that's the other side of not leaving when they're young. You have to look at your situation and, decide. So many things factor into it. Geography, finances, jobs. It's just not a cut and dry answer to a very complex, complicated question. I always wish, whenever someone contacts me with that question, I just always pause for a bit because I think, what do I say? What do I say? That's why I'm doing this video, because everyone's answer to that is wildly different. So people say, well, are you sorry you stayed? Look at all the damage he did. Your family fell apart, so on and so forth. I can't look back on my life and my decisions with regret. Regret is a really wasted emotion. It's useless, like guilt. I know that I did the absolute best that I could as a parent, as a mother, for my children, given the counterpart that I had. I don't know what more someone could ask of me. How different would our lives have been if we would have left if I would have left them when they were little? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I will give you, again, along with the people who contact me that say dealing with a narcissistic spouse is just this hideous, ongoing nightmare. A girlfriend of mine, very early in my divorce, when I first left the narcissist, didn't really understand the ins and outs of mental and emotional abuse, and the whole thing sort of blindsided her. So this girlfriend of mine called me one day, said, you won't believe what happened to me. She said that while she was at work, she went into the restroom. While she was at the sink, she could hear someone in the stall screaming her head off. She was just coming unglued. When that woman emerged from the stall, she told my girlfriend, she's like, I'm so sorry you had to hear that. And my girlfriend's like, well, no, it's, none of her business. What is she going to say? So this woman goes on to tell her that she was upset because she had been divorced for nearly 10 years, and that her ex still got a rise out of her like this, still was using their children as pawns, putting them in the middle of everything. And that was the reason she was in the stall screaming and carrying on the way she was. And she was completely stressed out because she happened to be at this nice restaurant for a business meeting. So in the middle of her business meeting, she had to leave to go to the ladies' bathroom to deal with her lunatic ex and whatever his most recent antics were with their children. After 10 years of being divorced. And so that was kind of an eye-opener for my girlfriend. That was, I think, maybe one of her first encounters with someone else talking about, a narcissist and this type of abuse. And so it was a real eye-opener for her to have this complete stranger open up like that, and to see her having this meltdown as a result of having an ex like this, a very toxic ex. 10 years out, this lady was coming unglued, trying to work, trying to live her life, trying to go about her daily business. And that was the reaction he got out of her 10 years after their divorce with children in the middle. So there's no easy answer for this. I wish I had one, but there are just way too many factors. There are too many moving parts when you're talking about leaving someone toxic, divorcing someone toxic, and having children involved. So once again, I go back to just sharing my experience and my story because that's all I can draw from. That's all I can give you. I always send a prayer up for people who are in that situation, who are desperately wanting out of a toxic marriage and have children. I know what it's like. I know exactly what it's like, and I know what it feels like, and I know how difficult it is and how incredibly conflicted you feel. There's no greater conflict than trying to make a decision that so drastically will affect your children. So I hope this helps. Stay tuned, check in for the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I do understand a lot of people can't subscribe, and that's okay. I understand why, there's that element of anonymity when it comes to watching my channel or other channels like mine. I totally get it. I'm with you there. So if you can't subscribe and you're just kind of following along, make sure you check back in and keep looking for new videos because I'm going to be sharing something really major really soon. Ciao for now, everybody.